Good afternoon, good morning, and whatever time you're listening to this podcast, it is February 25, and you're listening to, the fourth episode of the not the Level Up podcast, the Pixel podcast. With me today, as always,
Ikaika, Shiveley,
and Wesley Babcock.
And we're here to talk about video games and stuff. Though I have some stuff to talk about before we talk about video games. So this morning I urinated. And I flushed my toilet, and it made a really weird noise, but I didn't think about it because I had just woken up from sleeping for 14 hours, so I was kind of groggy. And then I went to brush my teeth, and you know how you lean down into the sink to get the water in your mouth to wash out your mouth? I turned my water on, and I heard a ka-tunk, and then the water going into my mouth was yellow, so I actually put my own pee water into my mouth. All right, let's start this podcast. So...
Okay.
You know what? I thought that needed to be known because it freaked me out a ton. For good reason.
Well, we just lost the two listeners that we had.
Yeah.
So.
That's okay.
That watched it 5 times each or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. So, Ikaika Shiveley, what have you been playing this week?
Well, over the weekend, I talk about how I got a lot of new games.
Yeah. Last week you bought a buttload.
So I was trying to get I was playing those, but I had too many games to choose from. So I decided to play my emulators. So I played some Nintendo 64 over the weekend.
Sure.
And friendships were almost broken due to Mario Party 2.
Oh, yeah?
It was mostly my fault being a jerk.
What did you do? Did you do that thing where it's like you roulette the heart or the stars and it's like, oh, this person's star, go to this person? Because that always got me.
No, it was... During the last 10 levels, there's duels if you land on the same space as someone else. And I landed on the same space as my friend, and I dueled, and I could choose as many coins as I wanted. And I made it 60 coins, so I won the duel and took all their money away.
Oh, that's a mean thing to do to your friends.
Yeah.
Very mean.
Mario Party is a pretty mean game, to be fair.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like most party games have that,
It's like Monopoly,
twist.
but worse. Like, friendships will be broken unless you work on the same side.
Yeah. I've definitely I've actually stopped being friends with someone over Catan. Legit.
Catan gets intense.
Dude, Catan gets intense. Yeah, that game. Just don't put the robber on me. Like, what did I ever do to you?
See, but then they're like, but don't take it personal. You know, if I was leading, I'd expect you to have it on my tile. And then you're like, well...
The problem is when I'm not leading
and
they put it on you and then they take my clay and I'm like, I needed that for a house, man. You're really bumming me out. Yeah, that game's pretty rough. Anything else you've been playing this week, Ikaika? Ikaika?
Nothing new besides that.
Because Mario Party 2 is super new.
Well, I mean, nothing that I haven't been playing.
Okay.
The last couple weeks.
Wesley, did you play something this week?
Well, I played Settlers of Catan. That's why it was funny that you mentioned that. Yeah,
that's fun.
Before the weekend, so that was pretty fun. Just like a small 3-person game.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
We were playing. I had got for 2 of my friends the Ocean expansion.
Yeah, the one with pirates and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
so you have in addition to the normal robber baron, you have a pirate ship that can also be moved around when you roll a 7 or play a night card. So.
What does that do? I mean, because the robber stops people from getting resources on a specific place, and you get to take a single card. So
if you move the ship, because if you move to a new island, you get bonus points. So with the pirate ship, you prevent any ships already there from moving away, and you prevent the building of any new ships in the tile, surrounding that tile.
That's pretty rough.
So you can just block. It's like blockading someone from getting somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, pirates do that, to be fair. That works.
Yeah, and they try to rob you and all that stuff. So yeah.
That's cool, though. I mean, with that expansion, does it increase the time of the game, or is it roughly the same?
It's roughly the same.
Because it's a 40-minute game.
Yeah,
it's already kind of long.
Yeah, about 40 minutes for the average game. But, I mean, if everyone's playing it well and really trying to get at each other, it goes on for a while. So
definitely.
But yeah, that's the main game I played.
Did you play any video games on video screens?
Oh, I played, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Arc Eternal.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Never really
Creeper
got into
World
it.
3 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's basically where you have this creep that like slowly spreads from a single spot, and then you have to build turrets, resource collectors.
And that's a StarCraft 2?
No.
No?
It's like it used to be a web browser game.
Really?
Might still be a web browser game.
Sorry, when you said creep, I'm like, oh yeah, like the creep in StarCraft
Yeah.
2.
That's where it's like the same word. Yeah, there. But I also I had initially started watching a pro level StarCraft game several weeks back, and then I finished that last night between Firecake and Marine Lord.
Okay.
It was
Marine
before
Lord's
the
pretty well known.
yeah before the final 8. I don't know what year this was. Probably
Sure.
a couple years ago.
When StarCraft 2 was at its prime.
Yeah. So, but it was really cool. I can see how you get into the esports scene.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
It's just intense. The first game, went on for an hour and like 20 minutes,
Jeez.
and they mined out all but like one base on the map, and then it was like who controlled that last base, and then
That's like the best though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
so
Yeah, StarCraft 2 definitely not at the level it once was.
yeah,
Back a few years ago when like the hype was real for StarCraft 2. Now
it's
now
dying
kinda
down
split
a
up.
little.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean the new expansion, brought it into
Helped a
people's
little,
mind,
yeah.
but yeah.
I still haven't bought the new expansion, but
No, me either.
I'm probably gonna wait for a sale
Yeah, me too. Definitely. I'm gonna wait for it to go
where
down.
I'm not competitive, so
Yeah, I
not
mean,
missing out on anything.
definitely not. I always see like notes, like patch notes for StarCraft 2 in the BattleNet client, and I'm like, man, I should get into StarCraft 2, and then I just never do.
Yeah.
It's a little scary. It's a little looking at it from like the outside. It's like, man, it's a little scary. I think on every episode of this podcast we talk about how
StarCraft, yeah.
we talk
'Cause
about
I always
StarCraft
watch
2.
StarCraft, yeah.
and like how it's too scary to get into
Yeah.
it.
We'll have to have a group
And
game.
I'm just here sitting because I've never played StarCraft.
Yeah, we'll have to drag you into a game too.
Yeah, or we'll just have to drag you into watching a game because I think watching pro players is a lot more fun than playing the game.
Yeah,
for me
because you have
personally.
because basically like it's like a sports game. You have casters who are normally former pro players themselves who know all the strategies, or at least knew, and are continuing to learn them as other players play. So you have that hype is real. Like
Yeah, dude, hype is real for StarCraft 2,
Yeah.
especially in Korea. Like those people are.
and apparently France has, because that was those two players I said, Firecake and Marine Lord are both French players.
Oh.
Apparently Europe and South Korea have some of the best players coming out of there. So
Yeah, Europe definitely pumps out I think a lot of pretty great esport players just in all genres, especially like Counter-Strike and stuff. Like Europe's big into it. I mean, Europe's a big place. They have a lot.
Yeah.
They have a
Huge
lot of
volume of
huge
people that
volume of
could.
people, definitely.
of course Counter-Strike's probably just Russians.
Definitely, and like Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Was a little mean, but
No.
It's also
but
very true.
It's very true.
it's very true.
I mean,
All right, so is that it for you?
that's
Though?
pretty much it. Yeah.
All right. Hey man, it's more than last week.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
It is.
I'll
I
take
actually
it.
played a game.
Yeah. You pushed a few buttons.
Yeah.
So I've been playing the open beta of The Division, which Ikaika, I think you also got into a little bit.
Yeah, I played it one night, maybe
Yeah.
for like an hour.
I mean, it was
so.
only open for like a weekend, so.
Yeah.
And how'd you like that?
It's like my first Tom Clancy game in a while. I think the last one I played was Rainbow Six, the first one.
Yeah, and these games are wildly different.
Yeah, I really like those games, but I don't know. It was interesting. I can see why people were getting into it. I mostly won't buy it just because I'm broke right now.
Sure, no, I
But-
feel you.
But if I'm not that into it to buy it for $60, maybe if I had like enough money. But it was really interesting. I liked how it felt open world, even though I didn't play it that much, so I'm not too sure. But I made the mistake of being the nice person and giving my first aid to like people in need,
Yeah.
like just like
They give you
homeless
loot,
looking people, and then
which is really weird. If you give like a homeless or like a very sick person like a first aid or like a med kit or a snack bar, they'll like drop a gun. They'll be like, all right,
You're just
here you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it just like pops
Like,
up on
really?
the ground. Like, you know what? You gave me that candy bar. I'll give you this AK-47. It's a fair trade.
yeah. So I did that, and then when it got to like later, like one of the missions, and I was just like the screen was just red the whole time because I wouldn't heal and I had no first aid kit.
Yeah.
So I made that mistake, but
Yeah.
what do you think
definitely.
of it?
I mean, that game's really good looking. I think on the PS4, you're running around New York City, right? And it's like this kind of there was a virus that hit. The story is still pretty unclear.
Yeah, it's like the post-apocalyptic game.
Yeah, which is why I was writing a first impressions article for it, and I definitely want to avoid saying post-apocalyptic because
It's not.
it's not
yeah.
really post yet. I mean,
Apocalyptic.
It's like
then?
in process.
yeah,
Apocalypse.
it is apocalypsing. But yeah, that game looks really good, and there's definitely a lot of really good scenery in that game. Just like there's just piles, there's like mass graves in the streets, and it's just, I think it really kind of set up a really great setting. But yeah, I definitely get what you're talking about. Medkits are hard to come by. You have 3 on your character, and I mean, in missions, enemies tend not to drop them unless you're out of medkits. That's what I found out. Is that once you hit 0 medkits, like every enemy will drop a medkit. Like it'll just be flooding.
It's like you must be needing these now.
Yeah.
The game kind of reminds me of like The Last of Us before like between the prologue of Last of Us and the actual game.
Yeah.
Like as
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
going down.
It's like as it's happening.
But it's not. It's just a
But it's
virus that
just a
kills
vi- it's-
people. It's
yeah.
not.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's just a
people
deadly
dying
virus.
off instead of
I feel like if you put zombies in there, I'd
Oh.
buy it.
But then it'd be like every other game.
I know, but
Yeah.
I like the
I would
idea
buy
of
it.
rioters and like so they also introduced a new faction aside from just the normal rioters, which is these guys who want to burn everything,
Oh yeah.
like these firemen, and they think like the way to get rid of this virus is to just burn everything with flamethrowers. So that was really cool, and it also gave you like new enemies to fight because the closed beta, I'm pretty sure, only just had the rioters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only got to play that game for like 4 hours though. Tried to get onto it one night, and Ubisoft was having like they were doing a patch, even though it was the open beta was still going. So like 5 hours they had a patch, and I just had to go to bed. So I only got to play it on a Sunday, and I spent about 5 hours in it, and I really enjoyed the time I spent with it. Did you get into the Dark Zone at all?
No, I only did like the Madison Square Garden or whatever level,
Yeah.
and then the level before that, and
Sure.
then I don't know what I did. I think I just stopped playing afterwards. I mean, I didn't hate it. It was just I think it was getting late or something.
Okay.
Like I downloaded it too late, and I was like, I got school.
If you guys are more interested in like some of the backstories, there on YouTube there was the Agent Origin series,
That's right. Yeah, I saw
and
that.
several big YouTuber studios like put together different parts. Like
Oh.
Ubisoft created their own video, and then worked with 3 other studios to create their own videos.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it kind of like describes the burners and
Yeah.
All the different
all this
agents.
Ubisoft synergy, or I'm sorry, YouTube synergy. It's
Yeah.
like
it's just
weird.
everywhere.
It's just integrating with everything.
Yeah,
It's like a virus. That's gonna be the next apocalypse.
Yeah.
YouTube.
just YouTube.
Yeah.
Everyone's stuck drooling in front of a screen.
You're gonna have to quarantine off New York. YouTube taking over.
Yeah.
But the Dark Zone is kind of like the main. I wouldn't call it the main hook, but it's definitely one of the main twists in the Division. It's kind of what it brings to the genre, and that it's a zone where it's like a player versus player, where if you just want to shoot a guy, you can, but then you will go rogue, and that's bad because if you die, you'll have harsher penalties, which include like you have a whole separate level. You have your normal character level, and then you have a Dark Zone level, and the Dark Zone level can go both up and down. So if you die as a rogue agent, your Dark Zone level will go down a lot more. And what the big thing about the Dark Zone is that there's a lot better gear. So there's a normal enemy NPCs in the Dark Zone, and they drop like way better items. So what you want to do is you want to go and get that gear, and then you want to take it to a helicopter evac point. And the crazy thing is that once you sign for the helicopter, like once you shoot a flare up, everybody knows. So everyone knows that you have loot that you want to get out of the Dark Zone. So they're all coming for you, especially like the bad guys. So it kind of creates a lot of these situations where it's like 5 people around a helicopter point, and everyone's just like pointing their guns at one another, like waiting for someone to make a move. And that was really cool, but I felt like a lot of the times it just kind of ended up being like a death match. Like everyone just started shooting each other, and there wasn't that tension. There was just right aggression, like
Yeah.
immediately.
I think one thing I noticed with playthroughs is you at least need one other person, if not your own like cadre of like
Yeah.
4 to 6 players. Do your own little squad.
Yeah.
To like successfully get in, get out, get loot,
Which
kill
is-
off enemies.
That's kind of unfortunate because I like playing games single player.
And it's supposed to be agents. Agents don't normally work in large teams.
That's true.
So
Yeah, I mean, I just like playing games single player. Like, I don't like playing with other people. I don't know why. It's just how I've always done it. Like, even in multiplayer games, like, I definitely just want to be by myself. Another cool thing I found about the Dark Zone is that your mic is public, so like everyone can hear you speak. So like just in the distance, I was like hearing people talk about like, they're like setting up a game plan, and it was like that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That really helped.
I always just mute my mic because I don't want people to hear me.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I kind of didn't even think about like if I was like talking or something, just everyone would be able to hear me. But that also sets up like,
Skype.
yeah, right.
On the side.
I did that with Rocket League. I think it was last week. Because normally I use my Bose headphones, and for some reason the mic doesn't work. It recognizes the mic, but it doesn't work to connect sound, so like no one can ever hear me. But then I unplugged it and then plugged in my speakers, so my PlayStation camera was recording the sound, but I was listening to Spotify, just like blasting music super loud in my room. And then I just hear in the chat like, "Shut up!"
Yeah, people must have loved
Stop.
that.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh," and I felt so bad. I was like, "Good thing I was listening to good music at least, and not like."
Yeah, not something you'd be embarrassed about.
Yeah, not your Taylor Swift
Yeah.
covers. No, that definitely happened to me when I was playing Destiny, where I was in a group with random people because you need other people in Destiny like to do raids and stuff. But I was like, I don't know. I talk to myself sometimes because I'm like a little crazy, and they were just like hearing me talk to myself, and I hadn't muted my mic, so I got like heckled by Europeans because I don't know why Europeans love Destiny, but that was a good time. Yeah, but I'm pretty into the Division. I'm probably gonna get it when it comes out. I'm also pretty poor, but I also have bad spending habits. So
Oh, I do too. That's why I'm poor.
yeah, that's how I got to this point. But it definitely, I like it, and it scratches that Destiny itch, which I have a lot. Is that Destiny doesn't have a lot of content at the moment, and I've kind of done everything, so I don't want to play more Destiny. But I really like that kind of game, that kind of loot-based shooter sort of thing. And even though this is a third-person shooter compared to Destiny, which is a first-person shooter, there is still a lot of those same mechanics at play, and I dig it. Which skill, by the way, did you choose, Ikaika? Because you can kind of pick two skills.
What were the skills again?
It was like a shield, like a pulse to see where the enemies are, and grenade launcher.
I think I did the pulse one.
Yeah, I did the grenade launcher and the shield, and I actually feel like those skills really do like play a lot into the game, and they're very effective. And you can kind of spec out your character, even though you only have two active skills at a time. You can kind of spec your character out to sort of what you want it to be, in a lot more of a focused way compared to Destiny. And yeah, that was the Division. I'm into it. I like it. I'm probably gonna buy it. I just bought Super Hot, which is a game that came out for the PC today, and Super Hot is a pretty cool game. Super Hot is a game where it's a first person shooter, and time only moves when you move. So yeah, which is kind of weird to think about.
Yeah.
But you'll shoot, and then your bullet's just gonna stay there unless you move, and then the bullet will move as you're moving. So time will only progress as you're moving in the game, and it almost just becomes like a puzzle first-person shooter. And it's cool, man. You can like throw guns and like you get swords and stuff. It's really difficult to explain here in an audio format. You'd have to watch it.
Yeah, I keep seeing that all over YouTube. I haven't watched the videos, but I see like the thumbnails.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I just kind of fixed my computer to where I can run games well, and that game looks like fantastic. It's got a really interesting art style. So I put about an hour of that right before I had to get over to this podcast. So I'm probably gonna pump out a review sometime next week.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, just to let you know,
Looks like
Ikaika.
crystals, basically.
Yeah, it's very hard edges on the enemies. I just think the core gameplay mechanic is really great, and it feels really good. And then, sorry, go ahead.
No, but it looks super unique. Like, at least it's its own idea. It's a fresh take.
Definitely, yeah. And at the end of a run, because, as you're playing the level, it's kind of jittery because you're like stopping and then time stopping with you and then you're moving again. But at the end of the run, it has a replay that's like with no stops, like what it would look like. And you just look like the biggest badass because you're like headshot, like throwing the gun, picking up some other guy's gun, and
Just
then like
destroying everyone.
just destroying everything, when in reality it took you like 30 minutes and 48 tries of like move, like, all right, I gotta dodge this bullet, like move, all right, shoot, all right, throw the gun, oh wait, no, all right, move, like it.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Huh.
So I'm pretty excited to go home and play that more.
It's like a live version of turn-based strategy.
Yeah, definitely.
way.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so we're going to get on to new releases. As I mentioned before, Super Hot comes out today, February 25, and that's going to be out on the PC and Xbox One. Great game. You can wait for my review, but I think everyone should play it. So the next thing coming out is that Mortal Kombat is getting like a full game release with like all of its DLC content, and then it's also getting some new characters, and it's called Mortal Kombat XL, which I think is a really good name because it was Mortal Kombat X, so now it's extra large. And that's coming out on March 1st, and the new characters are Alien, Leatherface, Triborg, and Bo' Rai Cho. So that's exciting. Ikaika, are you into this at all? Because I know you like Mortal Kombat.
I have Mortal Kombat X. I haven't played it in a while. I can't remember if there was a 2v2 option like there was with the last Mortal Kombat.
I don't think so.
The 2v2. So that was when I had like a roommate in the same room, and then we had a bunch of friends come over. So like every like Friday night, we would do 2v2 Mortal Kombats, and like those great because it's just like L1, you tag the other person in. So I kind of missed that with a new one, but the game's still great. I don't know if you ever played the new one, but like
no, I played 9 a little bit, but not
so
10.
like how every Mortal Kombat they have the cemetery where you use your points to like you break down a tombstone and then like you unlock either a character or a skin or concept art. This one was fun, but it kind of wasn't because it was first person and you can walk around, but there's jump scares.
Oh really?
And like there's no warning of it, like it just happens.
That's pretty funny.
But it was really fun. I kind of wanted to get the new. I don't think I'll get XL because I have the new one, but I might just buy like Alien. I don't know about Leatherface because I got the expansion, or it was like the $30 expansion to get all the other characters. So I have Jason and whatnot.
Who is Leatherface?
Leatherface is from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, okay. He's the guy. He's the massacrer.
Yeah, he's the killer.
He's
But
the killer.
Alien just seems cool, and it's not just Alien. It's Baraka Alien, so he has like the blades.
Oh.
Because in the trailer, like the thing comes out of Baraka.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because Alien, it changes depending on who it kills and who it's birthed from. So if it's a human one, it's different. Just like in Alien vs Predator 2, it was the Alien Predator hybrid, so it had like the Predator mouth. So it's cool to see that they're a different take on Alien.
I did not know that about Alien.
Yeah.
I've never watched a single one of those movies.
The first 3 are good. The fourth one's Alien vs Predator, it's just dumb fun. Leatherface, I probably wouldn't spend money on him. Triborg, I can do without. And Bo' Rai Cho, I only remember him from the PS2 game, but he's like the character to play because he's funny. Because one of his moves, he like throws up and then the guy slips on it and stuff.
I feel that.
He's like drunk, but it's
I've
nothing.
both thrown up and slipped on throw up, so I get that. That's relatable.
You know the feels.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's
He's a
relatable
relatable
to me.
character.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and lastly, we don't have a lot of new releases this week. The last one being released is actually a remake. It's of Heavy Rain for the PlayStation 4. It's going to be a remake out on March 1st. You play Heavy Rain at all for the PS3?
I played the demo, but I don't know. I think it was when the demo was like nowhere near the actual game, so I didn't like it that much. I probably wouldn't buy it. Is that the same company that made Until Dawn?
God,
Because it's the same type of game. Right?
I don't. It is a very similar type of game. Yeah.
I haven't played Until Dawn, but I've seen like 2 playthroughs of it, and that
I
game
feel
looks
like you'd
great.
be into Until Dawn. Well, I mean, if you've seen 2 playthroughs, you probably.
But then there's like hundreds of different.
Yeah, there's a lot of different outcomes.
That's a game you want to play with like a group of friends, like
sure.
on a night, like maybe like during October when it's like around Halloween, because that's just fun. By myself, not because I'm scared, but just because I know what's gonna happen. So it's like, But yeah, and I've not played Heavy Rain too much.
Yeah, it's definitely just like a narrative-driven sort of game. There was a thing that spawned out of Heavy Rain where it's like the dad's chasing his son named Jason, and he kept yelling, "Jason!" for like 40 times. So for a while on the internet, people were just screaming, "Jason!"
So that's like the old, damn, Daniel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What is that?
So
I have no idea what that is. I've seen it in my periphery, but I just haven't.
Have you seen the actual video of it?
No.
So there's this guy. He like his friend, I guess, dresses nice all the time, and so like he just like Snapchats, "Damn, Daniel," and then but it's like a compilation of it, and then like on some of them he has like white shoes, like, "Ooh, back with the white shoes again." And then people are just, it's like a dumb thing, but people are making it funny now. So
all right,
they even got on freaking Ellen.
Really?
The 2 of them.
Dude, whatever. Anyone can get on
yeah,
Ellen.
Seriously, by now.
I could get on
Yeah,
Ellen.
he got like a lifetime supply of white vans.
Wow. How?
So we need to make a Snapchat that goes viral.
Goes viral. Get on Ellen. Get free stuff.
Yeah. What is a lifetime supply of white vans? Like how? Is
Well, I
it-
think this is all vans, but they show just white vans.
so.
but
Like anytime he needs vans, he can just grab one.
I guess they'll probably just send it to him.
That's
I have
weird.
no idea.
It's gonna be like a big.
This is a video game. Let's go back to video games.
All right,
Yeah,
let's head back to video games. So we're just gonna jump right into news. I know Wesley, you put this on here. If you want to start it off with your first news story.
Okay, so there's news that a game that's been out for 2 years, Insurgency, is going to have is getting ported to Unreal 4 from its original build on the Source engine. Primarily because, well, I assume because Valve hasn't released Source 2 engine. Apparently they're still got that. They have it out, but they're just using it for their own stuff now. Because there were some comments in the comment section going, oh, why didn't they just update it to the new Source engine instead of doing a brand new thing? But
That's all internal, though.
yeah, they obviously didn't want to wait for Valve to get their shit together since, no Half-Life 3. So
Hey, man, they just got that in the bank just in case.
yeah, they're just like, if we ever start losing sales,
yeah,
Half-Life
just,
3
boom,
just
pop
drops.
that out. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and so basically, Insurgency is a multiplayer first-person shooter with kind of a permadeath function. Where, unlike Call of Duty, where you get killed, you respawn immediately. Most of it's you either respawn by rounds or by capturing a point, depending what modes you're playing.
It's a bit more hardcore of like a shooter, right?
Yeah, it's like kind of like real life. You're gonna die
Yeah.
and you stay dead. You also, depending where bullets hit you, you die. Like if you get a headshot, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so it's more realistic physics there. So the new game's gonna actually implement single player. So like covering the 2003 invasion of Iraq and ending in the present day.
That's pretty cool.
And instead of just being for the PC, they're also putting it on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So it's going to be...
Oh, so it's
I don't know
gonna
if they're
going
going to do cross-platform play, but at least they'll have it on multiple.
And that's probably just because they're getting it out to the new engine, right? That they can port it over.
So it's going on Unreal Engine 4, so
Yeah.
that's supported by pretty much everything. So
Definitely. You think there's going to be like a growing trend of games doing this, like moving over from the Source engine? Because I know a lot of games right now
yeah,
are on the Source.
because I know
engine.
Valve I think they have pretty favorable if you use it or
Yeah.
not. It's not. I don't think it was that expensive, so that's probably why people ended up using it. I don't know. It depends probably on the timeline of when they release their updated engine. Some people that aren't looking to develop a game yet might just wait for that.
Yeah, Amazon's got its thing coming out.
Yeah, they have their own API
yeah.
or engine that
And that's that's free, isn't it?
it's free.
That's crazy.
Basically, the only thing you pay for is the hosting for multiplayer servers.
Amazon is crazy.
Yeah. Amazon is a very good big business. They
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
basically.
they own Twitch too.
Yeah, they own
Yeah.
Twitch, and basically, I think they're banking on. Say there's a small developer, they develop a game, has small online functionality, but it starts growing exponentially. They're gonna really make money once there's tons and tons of people crowding onto that game's servers,
Yeah, that's
because
true.
then you slowly expand them as
You
you
need
go.
more servers.
Yeah, and it saves businesses money. But they're also doing esports, so I guess Insurgencies has an eye on entering that arena, which
Does it?
yeah, which I feel would be interesting. I think that kind of match type where it is the death and you can have the teamwork, I mean, might be interesting, so we'll have to see.
We're getting
Some
what
interesting
is
background music.
yeah some interesting background music. We should have background music in the studio, but
yeah. But
unfortunately we don't.
that's pretty much the news, they're coming
Yeah.
out with that.
I don't know if they're gonna make it into that esports scene because man, every game these days coming out is trying to become an esport.
And you're just like, who
Eh,
cares?
yeah, kind of a little bit. And I'm gonna guess you put this on here as well, the Dark Souls 3 gameplay footage.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily.
I'm gonna read this out.
Okay. I know I can read it. I can say it. I believe
right.
this. This isn't my type of game. So what I said was more gameplay footage for it was released just today or yesterday, and I'm like, meh, not my kind of game, but people might care. So
like such a throwaway like.
well,
meme.
I mean, it's not that style. Like I know it's pretty intense. People that get really into it enjoy the thrill of playing 40 hours against one boss.
Yeah,
And dying repeatedly.
I'm one of those people.
So
Ikaika, you're shaking your
not
head.
my kind of
No.
game.
That's
I mean, I'll watch it, but no, I wouldn't play it.
It looked pretty fluid though.
And I
like
heard
the
they're really,
combat.
really hard, and I just don't want to get too frustrated.
Basically, the developers like you can beat any boss if you spend enough time.
yeah, man.
That's essentially what they said.
Video games are hard work. They're determination. Y'all cats with your games that don't hurt you.
Or I like challenges, but I don't want to
Not
spend
something ridiculous.
5 days to beat one boss, and then there's
That's
another
what a
boss.
challenge is, man.
Yeah, it's like I've read like for the earlier games, it's like you spend all that time, you finally beat him, and then you die right after,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
Ain't nobody got time for that. Maybe you do. I don't.
I don't. That's no, definitely. I mean, Dark Souls 3, I feel like I'm not as stoked for as the other Dark Souls games. I've been a big fan. I've been a fan since Demon Souls, which is the original game of the series. It's like Demon Souls, and then they changed the name to Dark Souls, and then Dark Souls 2. I felt was a little less great. But Dark Souls 3, I don't know. I've seen the footage, and I think it's kind of cool about what they're doing. They're definitely changing up a lot of, not a lot, but they're changing up how a few weapons work, and they're adding a few new gameplay features, which I think is good for the series. But I'm definitely not as excited for it as I have been for other Dark Souls games. Like Dark Souls 2, I was stoked.
And these come out every year, right?
Nah,
Well, like every year, every other year.
I don't know. I think Dark Souls 2 was like, man, 2014, 2013.
Well, that's not bad because I'm thinking like Final Fantasy, where it's like 10 years and then the next one comes out.
Yeah, well, Final
Like Final Fantasy 15, they showed that
yeah, 2014.
they've been showing that at E3
2014.
since forever, and then finally, is it even coming out this year?
I think it is, yeah.
And then Final Fantasy 7 remake, that's gonna come out when like the PS5 and the next Xbox is out.
Seriously,
You know it.
Yeah, that's how they're going to sell the PS5. It's going to be the release game.
and people will be like, "What is this?"
Yeah. All right, so I think, Ikaika, you threw this next story up on here? The Rocket League.
Yes. So they announced today that you know how there's DLC for Rocket League where you can get new cars
You
and
can
stuff.
you can be like the DeLorean, which is
Yeah.
the only one I've ever cared about.
Yeah, there's other ones, but it's like whatever. But this is for the because Batman vs Superman comes out on March 25th, so a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's pretty soon.
So
Yeah.
so they have the actual Batmobile from the game or from the movie is playable in the game. I think it's like $1.99. So you get that as well as because you can have flags on your cars, so you can have you choose between the Trinity. So you can either have Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman as your flag.
Like their body?
No, like I guess like their symbol as the flag, not the body.
I thought their like body just hangs
No.
from your flag.
That'd be pretty morbid.
Yeah, that'd be kind of creepy.
No, that'd be weird.
So Superman doesn't like drive a car or anything, does he? He's never had like a super car.
No, he just
No.
flies around. He doesn't need it.
And then Wonder Woman's would be dumb because she has an invisible jet. So
Yeah,
you wouldn't
so
be able
you
to see
just-
That would be awesome.
You just see a person riding around the field.
That would be great.
But when like you score a goal and like there's the explosion,
Yeah, it
and
like
so there's something
explodes.
different. So for Batman, it does his symbol.
That's
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're showing us a picture which doesn't play as well on an audio podcast,
Well, I'm
but
letting you guys know. Maybe,
imagine a bat symbol in the sky, like the one that they show, like when
Yeah,
they need
yeah.
Batman. The
actually, you don't know.
outline
Maybe
of
I'll
the bat.
show it right now
That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that's not
Thank
gonna
you.
work.
Yeah,
How is
yeah.
that gonna work?
because this is gonna be YouTube, and I'm gonna put the
Yeah,
image
yeah.
on there.
So there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot we're doing this on YouTube now.
Take that.
Yeah, we could actually
You
do
got me.
images
You
and
got me.
such.
All right, and this next news story is something that you also put on here. This is the Black Flag controversy. That's not really a controversy. People are fucking crazy to call this a controversy.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we'll
I
we'll
read
talk about the
that.
controversy first, and then I'll give you my opinion on it.
That trailer looked cool though.
So the trailer for Uncharted 4 came out. It's the story trailer.
That
'cause
game
they
looks
they showed
good,
it kind of
man.
before.
Or the cutscenes look great.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, seriously.
It's amazing to see like the difference between even from the last one. Like Drake looks much older, but because they made him more realistic.
Drake just looks more like Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like exponentially more.
Well, he already is him. Now he just looks more.
Now
like
he just
this.
like looks exactly like him.
Yeah, if this was like 5 years ago and they were gonna make this movie, put Nathan Fillion, but now he's getting old, so it's
Nathan
like,
Fillion's getting a little old. I don't know if he
I-
can do all
I
those
remember
Drake
when they were
moves.
when originally it was Mark Wahlberg that was rumored to be it, and I was like, please no.
Please, yes.
But if I want one person to be cast, Sully, the old guy.
Yeah. Michael Cera, I got you.
No,
No?
Bruce Campbell.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Not Bruce Willis. Oh no, wait, I'm
Uh,
sorry, Sully.
Yeah, Sully, the
Um,
old guy, the guy with the gray hair, who's like his mentor.
yeah.
He's a little wisecracker. Anyways, back to the trailer. So they showed the trailer, and then it's cutting back between like the jungle and then like being in, I guess, his house and stuff. And there was an image of an island where I guess the game mostly takes place, and the controversy is that image of the island is almost a direct copy off of Black Flag concept art. So,
Which is just the dumbest controversy.
which I looked
Yeah.
at it, it looks very very similar except for there's no pirate, and then
Yeah,
Except-
it's basically cropped to get rid of the
But
pirate and part of the island.
my opinion on this is Drake is a thief, so who cares? It makes sense.
He's
Yeah.
essentially a pirate.
One of the developers actually tweeted that, like, "Oh, I guess this is why the title has the name Thief."
Yeah, thief's end. But I mean,
That's like the lightest definition of controversy.
it's not really like, I don't know.
This was like a thing on the
It was
internet.
like a
though.
slow news day for the internet.
It definitely
basically.
was, yeah. They need to blow something up.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we can't do any more 9/11 controversy. Let's just, I don't know, that island looks ripped.
I don't know. When I was on Rocket League, I saw a guy. His name was Bush did 9/11. That's his.
I'm surprised that's still
Yeah,
on there.
I was like, wow.
I feel like PSN would like step in at some point.
But anyways, yeah. But back to the trailer itself.
God,
That-
it looks good.
I mean, Uncharted. Each game keeps getting better and better. Like, the first one was really good, and the second one I was like, okay, how are they gonna top this? Then the third one came out, and that's up there with one of my favorite games. But I feel like this one, especially because the way they're saying it, it's like it might be the last one. I don't think it's gonna die, but I think it's gonna go to the last one, and then they're gonna focus more on The Last of Us, and maybe if they listen to the fans, they will return and make a new Jack and Daxter,
Yeah,
because they're
maybe.
not gonna do Crash Bandicoot. But I really think that this game is gonna be a quick seller. Even people who never even played before, they're gonna see this, and I don't see this game failing at all. The only failure
No.
I ever saw was
Not at
E3
all.
when they had to restart the demo, and I mean things happen at E3, so that's not
That's
that big
still
of a
a
thing.
demo. Like, that's just tech
I
preview.
mean, the characters are good, the action's good, the gameplay is awesome,
Yeah,
Yes.
and I don't think this is gonna be the last one.
and
in the
those
series.
graphics.
Not at all. Like,
this is basically Sony's moneymaker for his
Yeah.
console, so it's not ending anytime soon.
it's like maybe it's gonna take a break for a while, but definitely like
There's going to
if-
be a reboot or
if
something.
there's like a rainy day at Sony, something goes bad,
Yeah.
they're gonna pump another one of these out.
If anything, they'll do like a prequel like they did with God of War, like how
Yeah.
they haven't made a 4 yet, which please do.
Yeah,
Sony.
Sony, please. Nah, Sony's all about the money. All right, so the next news story is that the HTC Vive finally got a price. It's going to come out at $799, which is $200 more than the Oculus, but you're actually getting a lot more with the HTC Vive. You're getting a lot of peripherals, excuse me, and you're getting a few other things. But the weird thing about the HTC Vive is that it's kind of it's one of its bigger features is that it has the room tracking technology, which is kind of crazy because like that means you'd have to have a whole room dedicated to virtual
just to
reality,
gaming, yeah.
which I'm gonna guess most people don't at all. But I mean, it's cool though that the HTC Vive. I think it's definitely the higher quality headset. I mean, it's coming out at $200 more.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact specifics of it,
But they actually include controllers, which is the peripherals you were talking about.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're even if you just price it as that, that's where they come ahead.
Sure, definitely. So you can pre-order that on the 29th, and it's gonna be arriving at the end of March. Which, dude, virtual reality is like kind of here, and that's a little insane. Like things are gonna start picking up again. But yeah, I think the general worry though about the HTC Vive and really just how many or the two PC virtual reality gaming headsets is whether or not games will be compatible for both, compared to if one's only made for one and then one's only made for the other.
But it just seems like each game would just have to support a resolution, not necessarily a game.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, basically, it just needs to support the dual rendering of two different pictures at the same time.
Yeah, the thing that worries me though is what if people start coming out with like VR headset exclusivities, like, oh, this is an exclusive on the HTC Vive. Like, what if Half-Life 3? It's like, sorry,
Yeah,
Oculus
just releases
users,
on it. Yeah.
HTC Vive only. So
But
you know,
that's business.
that's
so, I
just
mean,
business. Yeah.
if you're not smart enough to realize that could happen, I mean, that's the whole early adopters. That's
Yeah.
always the trouble. You get what you get.
And it's $800. I mean, that's a lot of money. It
And
is
you need-
constituted. It is what you're getting.
And you need at least $1,000 PC, basically.
Yeah, definitely. At least.
At least.
At least. Which
yeah.
is crazy. Hey, you know what? HTC Vive only needs like 2 USB ports compared to the Oculus, which needs like 8. So
Wow.
that's nice. Need a lot of USB 3s.
Should have just used Thunderbolt. Cough.
Whoa.
No.
Shots fired.
No. Thunderbolt, 1 port,
That's true.
tons of bandwidth.
All right, guy. I'll take your word. The Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 are coming out to the Xbox One and PS4, which is exciting for 4 and 5, sort of. Not 6. I don't care about 6.
I think they're being released backwards, so 6 comes out
6
like,
comes first.
like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah. Who cares? No one liked 6. Nobody liked 6. Maybe a few people like 6.
I've never personally played Resident Evil, but I've watched growing up. I just remember 1 and 2 scaring the shit out of me as a little kid.
Those are scary games. Yeah.
I played a game and I just hated standing still and watching everything come at you. And you're just like, I want to move. Like, no one in real life would just stand here and shoot at stuff.
Yeah, that's
And not, like, try to get to a better vantage point.
that's definitely like the weird thing about Resident Evil is you
plays
stand
like
still.
that arcade shooter, like, oh, you move to this spot, shoot at stuff.
Yeah.
Move to another spot, shoot at stuff.
But that's why people like Resident Evil, though.
And then you run out of ammo, and you're like, well, I can't go and scavenge ammo. I'm just dead.
That's like the tension, is like, oh, you're trying to shoot at a zombie.
I'm not a Civil War soldier. I
Yeah?
don't need to stand in a line and die.
Wow. Jeez.
Nah.
No, JK. No, but I mean, that's why I like it, is that when you're standing still, I mean, you have to stand still to aim and shoot.
No, exactly. So, I mean.
And like, if you're like missing the zombie and you have like 2 bullets left and like the zombie's like slowly coming towards you, like, yeah, sure, it's kind of stupid that you wouldn't just back up and move, but I think it adds a certain something to the game that not a lot of other games do.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's its own kind of playing style, and for that,
And I think 6 definitely got a little bit more mobile. You could do a few more things. I think it was more of a cover shooter, actually, now that I'm remembering 6 more, and no one likes 6. So maybe they should just stick to
stick to your core mechanics. Be
stick
different.
to what you're good at. Yeah, 5 definitely was a lot more of a shooter, but it still kind of kept the core mechanics. You had a lot more firepower in 5 compared to 4, where you were definitely scavenging for ammo a lot more, and you kind of stuck to like the pistol and not as many other weapons. 5, you had like machine guns and shit and like rocket launchers.
5 was the one that was in Africa, right?
Yeah, 5.
I actually remember playing the demo, and it was like in Africa or something like that.
Yeah.
It was. I remember it being really hard though.
It was pretty difficult, but man, that game was great. You could do like a co-op with another person, because it was a 2-player, or I think it was focused to be a 2-player game where you had a partner like all the time, which was good and bad, because if it was a CPU then it sucked. But if it was another person, and I think I played 5 in like the optimal settings where I had like a friend with me and we just played through the whole game, so I had a lot of fun with it. And 4 is just a classic. 4 is one of the best games ever, in my opinion. So Pokemon is releasing or they didn't release anything. This was actually just found as a trademark of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, which people are thinking might be the next games, which would be, I don't know, cool, I guess. I'm pretty big into Pokemon, but I'm not really big into like the speculative Pokemon, like fan theories. There also have been a lot of other titles found, like Pokemon like Gray and Pokemon Sword of Blue,
They probably just think of a name and then copyright it.
I'm sure that they do, but yeah, this was found today,
Well, the Pokemon Direct event is actually tomorrow, so we'll find out.
and they said they had some big news, so could be.
They're still doing that app game, right?
Oh yeah, the like match 3 one.
I can't remember what it was. Where it's like you can like go around the world and try to collect all of them.
Yeah, and they're like in reality, and you like have to find them. That seems crazy.
Did you ever, when I think it was like last year or like 2 years ago, when Google Maps had the Pokemon thing, so you go around the world and try to find all the Pokemon. Like
No.
go to Japan, and then there'd be, or like go like in like the water and then try to find like a Gyarados. Like they would just be like in random places
I
throughout the
remember
whole
this,
world.
yeah.
Because I remember I was trying to find all of them, and then it was.
How far did you get?
I think I got like 60 or something, and then I was like, okay, I can't. I need to actually do something productive. So I just like looked up online to see where all of them were.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, people like would find out because like there'd be multiple places for some of them, but like me would be like some random place like super hard to find.
Yeah, just some small town
Yeah.
in Germany.
But it was really cool. But I hope they do some they do some keep doing stuff like that. Just like where like they don't even announce it, it just comes out like, hey, did you see the Pokemon thing today? What?
I mean, they have the money. Game Freak, dropping hot dollar bills. Ikaika, you added this story on very recently. UFC 2 knockout mode. I don't know what any of this means because I've never played a UFC game.
So it's weird they're calling it UFC 2 when because I guess they're redoing it again because they had the UFC for the previous consoles where it was like they were trying to do like almost a Madden, so like the next one was like 2010, and then they changed it to like Undisputed, and now the last one that came out last year was just UFC, and this one's UFC 2.
Yeah,
So
they're rebranding.
I guess they're gonna name it numbers, but I feel like the years is kind of a better thing. So you can, that's better for me and like for MMA fans. So you know like oh who's actually in the roster because you know like what year that fighters actually come in for the hardcore fans, and this new knockout mode I just stumbled upon today. This is for people pretty much like me. Like you like UFC, but you don't have enough time to like master the game because it's really hard to like do all the grappling and stuff. So there's no grappling, there's no takedowns. It's just kicking and punching.
Is that UFC at that point? Because isn't grappling and takedowns kind of a bigger part of?
Yeah, well, this is just
UFC?
a mode, so like it's for like
Oh, I'm so
It's
sorry.
part of
Yeah,
the
this is just part of the knockout mode.
yeah, because they announced multiple modes, but this one is specifically just for knockouts. So like, okay, this is gonna be like quick 5 minute fight. So it's because then sometimes when you're playing with your friends, say, okay, we're just gonna kick and punch, and then they'll be a jerk and just take you down, and or just to be funny. But now you can't even do that in this mode. It's just straight punches and kicks, and I guess they have a new engine that they're working on, so the knockouts are more realistic and stuff like that. But I think it's really cool that I think that they're listening to the fans or they know what the fans want, which is okay. Just get rid of all this bullshit. We just want to punch and kick, and
That's
see
how
who
I
knocks-
felt about UFC.
like blocking
in
what?
general.
No one cares. Oh, but the game's actually. I mean, I probably won't buy the game, but it looks great. There was other modes. I can't remember exactly what they were, but they were trying to spread like more gameplay of it. But the old one, it got a little repetitive. I mean, it's fun to like build up your fighter, but then it's kind of annoying if all the training you have to do to like actually get them good. And but this new mode is something that's exciting. So maybe in the future they'll have more stuff like this. And you can also play as Mike Tyson. So
that's pretty
awesome.
cool. Does Mike Tyson kick?
I'm pretty sure they can make him kick.
That's weird.
Just like
I can't even imagine.
The last game they had Bruce Lee, even though no one knows like how well he would do. I'm sure he would be
Bruce Lee
awesome.
kicks. He beat Chuck
Yeah.
Norris one time.
Yeah, well he kicks, but I'm just saying like
Yeah. I mean,
they try to bring those types of things because that's a pre-order fighter. So like, oh, I want to have Mike Tyson.
Yeah. If you play on the Xbox, can you play as Link? Sorry, that was a really bad Soul Calibur reference. All right, let's just move on. No one's gonna get that. No one's gonna get that. So we're gonna move on to our questions category. Questions category. Question time. Here we go. Kaika, you have a question for us.
Yeah, I have a question
You're
that I
dancing
actually
over there.
usually will be blind going in, but I thought this one it'd be better to think of like more details
Yeah.
about this. That's why I sent you guys this question a while ago. Also, we'll have more time so you guys can ask more questions too. They can be blind questions. But this one right now, it's pitch a theme park attraction based off a video game. So I kind of thought of this because I was thinking about the Mario World or the Nintendo Land that's opening up in Universal. That they're trying to do that at the Universal parks now. So this doesn't have to be specifically Nintendo. It could be any video game, but it has to be a theme park attraction, whether that's a show or an actual ride. You can even have like a restaurant, but whatever you can think of.
Sure.
I'll just tell you mine right now.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about Uncharted, I was thinking, what if we had like an Uncharted ride that had like a 3D element to it? But I feel like that'd be too much because I wanted to have actors in it as well. So I'm just thinking, I don't know if you ever seen the Waterworld show at Universal Studios, but it's an actual show like where you're part of the show, like you're almost as like the captives, but there's like thousands of people in the audience, and there's like water there. So basically, you're following. I guess you're gonna be like a captive of whatever the bad guy is. I won't relate it to a video game. Just have it as like a new something original, and then Drake's here to save you. So
And it's Nathan Fillion. It's
it can
actually
be.
Nathan Fillion.
So there's gonna be waterfalls. There's gonna be a lot of water, so you can drive around with the jet skis, and then have like a speeder boat with like a machine gun on it, but it just shoots blanks. But like projectiles will go into the water to make it look like it's shooting, and then there'll be like a jungle scene on the side for like I guess the prologue or whatever. But it's gonna be like a water slash. There's gonna be fire and stuff too, so it's everything mixed in, just like
It's gotta be
Waterworld.
fire.
So like the Indiana Jones kind of like
Yeah.
Disney World, Disneyland.
I mean, I'm
kind
kind of
thing.
going off of Indiana Jones too, because basically that's what Drake is. Nathan Fillion mixed with Indiana Jones, and he's gonna come in with the zip line at one point, because usually he has his pistol, but it's just gonna be an actual zip line. Because why do that? Maybe even a throwback or a homage to Indiana Jones. There's gonna be a bridge from Temple of Doom that breaks at the
Yeah.
very end. But I think a show like that, like, it will bring the character to new people, because people like over 40 won't know who Drake is unless they are into video games, which it's not like an Indiana Jones or a Waterworld type thing, but I feel like this would bring it to a new thing, and just it would be really fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Wesley, do you have any ideas?
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to
I'm
follow
like-
up. You seem to have really thought about this.
Yeah.
I would think like a Silent Hill haunted house. Something easy, something simple.
It's been done.
It's been done?
They
Really?
did it at Universal Studios, like for their Halloween nights.
No, no shit.
It's okay.
Oh crap. Wesley, you go. I'll try to think of a new
I
one.
don't know. I would think something like real life interpretation of Mario Kart would be kind of fun.
Oh, that would be kind of
Yeah.
fun.
Would it be like actual cart, or would it be like almost a 3D thing so you can use weapons or something? Or will you have full control of it, or is it just like a roller coaster?
That's a pretty high budget
Yeah.
Well,
theme park.
Nintendo has money.
Nintendo
yeah,
does have
true.
money. Maybe not as
Just
much.
say you have unlimited money, like if
Wii
you
U's
go
not
out.
doing that good.
Well, they do have unlimited money, unlimited budget. You'd have like those. They have simulators now where that can mimic any motion in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have something like that, because then you could have like the spinning feeling, like when you get knocked out. So having like a real life version where you have all the G forces of getting hit by a weapon, not like
So-
over the top, but
So it would be like 12 to 8 people in one
in
thing,
their
so
own
it'd be their own
machines,
race.
Yeah. That would be epic.
Yeah. Maybe
That'd
if
be cool.
maybe if the Wii U did a bit better, we'd have that. I mean,
There's always the next console.
there's a
Exactly, the
yeah,
NX.
So I think I would probably do like the life of Sonic the Hedgehog, where it's like you start out in a ride and it's like going really well and it's like really nice, but then like as you keep going through the ride and like hit 06, like the ride starts breaking down and like you start seeing furries pop up because Sonic kissed a real girl and that was weird. And then it kind of gets into Boom and like the cartoon and like it kind of goes up a little bit, and then it gets into the mobile version of Boom and you just crash and die. That's Sonic the Hedgehog, the ride.
So you actually die in this roller coaster.
You actually die. It just drops off into a
What
pit.
is this roller coaster called?
Sega. You. I really miss Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, the movie comes out. Next
Yeah,
year,
that's
right?
not great. God,
You never know.
just put a bullet in him, please.
You guys think of any questions? I have more if not.
Yeah, keep going, Ikaika.
Okay. What character in video games do you feel most bad for?
Oh, damn it! I just answered this question.
Besides,
Besides Sonic the
since you already
Hedgehog,
said that, I'll just go to mine real fast. The guy who lost to Glass Joe in Mike Tyson's Punch Out, because Glass Joe, he's the first person you fight.
he has like one win, right?
Yeah, he's 1-99. So how do you lose the Glass Joe? Like, if you ever played the game, all you have to do, like, there's no blocking. Don't have to block, and you'll still win. Just keep punching, and you'll beat the game or beat that level. So how do you lose to Glass Joe? I feel really bad for that guy.
Who, Glass Joe or the guy? Because
The
I feel
guy that
bad
lost-
for Glass Joe
The
too.
guy that lost of Glass Joe.
Glass Joe has been beaten 99 times. That guy probably just retired after that one loss.
But I still feel bad for him because he's like, oh, he's 0-90, 0-90 or 0-99. I can do this.
Maybe Glass Joe was like a really great amateur boxer, and like he won that one fight. He was like the big prospect. Everyone thought Glass Joe was going to be the next Mike Tyson, and then he beat that one guy and he let it go all to his head, and then he just started getting beat.
Yeah, but then still, you'd feel bad for that guy because
I
like,
feel
wow, I'm the only one that could not beat him.
Yeah, but at the time, maybe that was like, all right, like you lost to Glass Joe. That kid's great, and then he lost. I don't know. I feel bad for Glass Joe though. Glass Joe probably has like severe brain damage.
I'm sure.
Lose 99 fights, you're gonna be like punch drunk to all hell. I mean, I feel bad for. Well, gosh, I really like The Last of Us too, but I forgot that dude's name.
Yeah, what do you think I'm looking at?
Really?
Yeah.
I feel
Because
bad.
he literally basically has to. I
Joel?
mean, we can just,
Joel. Yeah, I feel
Joel.
bad for Joel,
So
man.
we can, yeah, because basically,
Spoilers.
yeah,
Whatever,
Warning.
that game's 100 years
yeah,
old.
seriously, if you haven't played it by now,
Yeah, this is your fault.
Spoilers.
I mean, basically, he loses his daughter, and then
Like at
has
the
to travel
beginning
with
of the
yeah,
game.
at the very beginning of the apocalypse. He
Can we
loses
just hold off
his
right there?
family.
That part was
That part
so hard.
broke my
And
heart.
then you just see like the guy standing there. He gets the orders. There's the pause.
Oh
and then
my
he
And you
starts
know what's
shooting.
happening, and it's like, and if you ever seen the making of the game, where like, because it was all motion captured, and like the actor was talking about it, and like he's like, I had to go to this dark place where my dad died, and I had to go in that, and he had to do the scene over and over and over again, and then they found it, and then a week later, like we had to reshoot that scene, and he's like, oh my god.
Dude, I felt it though.
So like whenever I watch it now, I just think of that too, and it's just like, oh. Back
That-
to your saying, sorry.
that scene broke my heart. It was so sad. But then he has to travel with a girl roughly the same age as his
and,
daughter
yeah,
and emotionally bond with her for like months.
and then have the almost the exact same thing happen again.
And then you know what?
And then he loses his lady friend too.
yeah,
Tara.
Yeah.
I didn't care about Tara at all.
they didn't have her in the game long enough to really like care about her death. Like I
Yeah.
feel if they
Yeah.
would have kept her along a little farther, she would have mattered more.
Mhm.
I mean, she still mattered a little. Like you're like, oh, he lost his partner, but
Though to be fair, I did feel very bad for the other son and the dad. Maybe was it? I haven't played The Last of Us since it came out. It was the son and the dad, and then the son gets infected, and then like
Oh, the brothers.
the brothers. I'm so sorry, they're brothers. Yeah,
oh,
and then like he gets infected, and that's how they end the chapter. Is that like he gets infected, and the brother has to like shoot him, and then he shoots himself. Like, man,
Oh,
the
yeah.
The Last of Us gets
yeah,
harsh.
that game,
That
Immortals,
game.
like,
Oh my gosh. Too much. You know what I wish they did in The Last of Us though? I wish they gave you the option to kill. Or not to kill, but to let Ellie die. Because I don't know.
But if they make a sequel, then that won't make sense.
I hope they don't make a sequel though.
They will.
I honestly
They'll make a sequel. I mean, I didn't like the ending, but they'll make a sequel and it's gonna be amazing. You know it.
No, I don't think that would be good at all. If they continued that story, I think that story ended perfectly. I don't think they need to do more.
I want more.
well, then you could always have a different story
Yeah.
in the same universe.
I like
That's
those,
true.
I like
I
those
mean-
characters though. Like they go so
Yeah.
well together.
Yeah, but the sequel feel so forced. That game ends perfectly. Where it's like Joel like doesn't really know how he feels about it, and Ellie is just blissfully unaware, but she kind of knows. That game ends perfectly. Yeah, no, I feel bad for almost everyone in that game though. That game was really sad. Hey, everyone, you should play that HD remake, even though now you know how it's gonna end. Just play that HD remake or the original. They're both very good.
I watched the entire playthrough, so
Yeah, or do that.
Oh, that game is so good. I think that might be my favorite game of all time.
I don't.
Just because the story alone is just so good. Because it's like a movie, but I mean, you can move around. You don't get to choose what's happening.
I think the gameplay in that game kind of blew though. The weird stealth stuff, and then
I like
those
it.
zombies that insta kill you. I didn't like a lot of the gameplay.
Have you played it online?
Nah. I heard that online stuff was pretty interesting though.
It's one of the most stressful like online games because it's basically like there's like boxes everywhere where you like get your stuff and build weapons, so
Yeah.
you can set up traps and everything. But so it's like it's 3-on-3, but it's just so stressful because you're like trying to build something and then someone just gonna shoot you in the head and just murk you. But some people are really good at that game, so it's stressful. But if you play with like just friends, it's fine. Or like if you have the mutual idea of, okay, we're only gonna fist fight each other, then it's really fun because you're just like, you have weapons, but if you just tell each other you're gonna only use your hands, it's a lot of fun because there's no way that you know who's gonna win. It's just pretty much you're just button mashing, but you can like hide somewhere and like jump on top and then attack them.
Yeah, what was interesting to me though was the like the community. It was like ripped off of your Facebook feed or your Facebook friends.
Oh yeah, that was
so like your Facebook friends make up the community that you're trying to like protect and stuff in the game. So it's like, oh, like my sister died. Like that's kind of a bummer.
And it's like
what?
Wesley's building baskets. It's like, what?
Yeah, like Wesley, what are you doing?
It
Stop
doesn't show
building
pictures,
baskets.
it just shows their names and stuff. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
But
All
that's
right.
that personal connection. So
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that game is all about personal connections and emotionally attaching you to things. Oh man, I get sad every time. I cry every time. What was weird about that game though was like Ellie was like based off of Ellen Page, or not Ellen Page. What's her name? The girl from Juno. Crap, what's her name?
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page. Yeah.
exactly.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
But
she
then
looked-
Ellen Page was coming out in a different game that actually was like using her as like a model, and
Yeah.
like that there was a little bit of controversy there.
I can't remember what that game's called.
Neither can I.
But I think it was the same creators, same developers as Heavy Rain that did that. But yeah, then they changed because she looked more like Ellen Page, and then they changed it a little bit because of that.
Well, you know
that
what?
little thing.
People remember The Last of Us, but apparently don't remember that other game. So we know who came out on top.
Yeah.
Beyond, that's what it's called.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like she has like supernatural powers, and like she has like some ghost that like
follows her.
yeah, something like that.
That game seemed a little weird, and it wasn't received super well either. So, The Last of Us, though, game of the year, definitely. Not best of all time for me, but definitely my game of that year.
If you haven't played it and you heard all these spoilers, we're sorry, but buy it.
But whatever, that game came out in like 2012.
I
All
mean,
right,
it's cheap now.
it is
buy it,
super cheap
yeah.
now. So, Ikaika, how are we doing on time? What are we at?
An hour and 3 minutes.
An hour and 3 minutes. All right, we're probably gonna cut it here, so I don't have to do that much more editing, because it already takes me like 3 hours to edit this podcast. We say a lot. I might just edit that one out for funsies. But all right, Ikaika, you're gonna start. Well, wait, no, I'm sorry. The music's gonna start fading in right now, and then Ikaika,
No, it's gonna come in right now.
it's gonna come in right now.
Right now.
No,
all right.
right.
Wait,
now.
right now.
Right now.
All right, goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening. We'll be back
Have a
next
great
week.
night.
Have a great night.